Hey everyone, welcome back to Bowl with Value. This week I'm using the Hammer Pure Envy. Again, I've used it a few times on the channel so far, and I'm gonna play around with some surface because this is such a strong ball. It's got a strong solid cover and a strong asymmetric core. We're gonna see what it does with a bunch of different surface changes. So stick around and see what we have.
This brings up by 12. Has it. Really good look.
All right, we are back at Sherman Bowling Center. I'm on lane 49 this week. It has the senior kind of lower volume, shorter pattern out, which I think is perfect for this kind of technical review, technical discussion on ball reaction. So I'm gonna get lined up. I threw a few shots. I don't feel super loose. So I'm gonna just stand on 20. I'll look at 13-ish at the arrows. I hit it, I got it out to the dry. Slid on almost 24. I drift 3 to 4, 3 to 5. Boards left. Just FYI, and I also line up with the left side of my shoe on the board that I say I'm gonna line up on. And that's just kind of for consistency purposes. You wanna line up consistently with the same part of your foot. All right, so that was a good shot. Let me see if that's good there again. And I'll talk about the surface of my bowling ball right now. Got it a little further in. Oh, and it retained some energy, didn't lay off. So I think the last time I put a 1500 on it, way back. So essentially it's got lane shine on it. It's not new out of inbox. I've thrown it a decent amount on the channel, but I don't actually think I've had a chance to throw it in competition, maybe once. So it doesn't have that many games on it. All right, so why don't I move a little further left, see if that's the right move. Because you want to see if you have enough area. I got it in a little. I don't want to have to be perfect with it. So let's see. I'm going to go 2 with my feet left, 1 with my eyes. So looking at 14-ish. Okay, that's better. I got it out to the dry. That's perfect. I feel comfortable and confident using this right now because it shaped the lane so well. It grabbed as it was going across the lane. As soon as it hit the dry, it kind of bled a little bit, bled some of its energy, and entered the pocket, split the 8-9. So track is okay right now. I would say I'm not as up the back of it, but guess what? That's okay because as I get further left, I don't typically want to be like end over end. So I'm going to start with 500 and see what it does. Because I would, if I were to guess, it has at least 2,000, probably even like 3,000 or 4,000 with the lane shine on it right now. If I were to guess on the surface. So I'm going to hit this pretty hard and see what it does. And this is a 500. We'll see what it does. My guess is that I'm gonna have to put a little bit more, like kind of bring it up. So then do like 1,000 next, 2,000, see what this pattern, which surface on this ball and the core. So standing in the same spot. So that was 22, right? I'd moved a couple left. So 22, 14, here we go. That grabbed so early. It was like barely past the arrows before it like started to hook, and then when it hooked, it didn't stop. So the first shot, whenever you hit it with surface, is always gonna grip and go. So I'm gonna stand in the same spot. just because it's gonna hook a little less now that it's got a little bit of oil on the cover again. So stay on the same spot, see if it, I mean, it might do the same thing, who knows? Okay, got it into the oil. Oh, so interesting. Wow, it almost sat. I got it into the oil a little bit more and it didn't. So when it hits the friction, it'll hook right away because of how much surface it has. So if I got it into the oil, it was able to kind of retain and bleed at the right spot. Still a 9-pin though. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna stay in the same spot again, but I am actually gonna try to have that same trajectory. Okay, got it out. Interesting. That's crazy. 500 on this pattern. So at first, it hooked a lot with the new surface. And then after 2 more shots, it blended a little bit more. So what if I wonder if I just made it look better with more surface. Well, so why don't we go up? I'm gonna do, actually I have a 1500. So I'm probably, this is fresh. So I'm actually currently burning a hole in the pattern, so to speak. So I'll go to 22 again, 14. Oh, so funny. That is okay. So, you know what? Why don't I move left and see what it does? Just a couple. It's gonna be the second shot again. So this one, in theory, if I move left, should strike. I'm gonna go 2. I'll just go 2 with my feet again. We'll go 2 and 1, 2 and 2-ish, so like 15, 16. Oh, I'm getting it out really far. Dang. Friction. This ball is what I would consider a monster ball. I mean, it is hooking a lot and not puking, which is so nice. Because by puking, I mean DOA, dead on arrival. It's not at all. All right, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna just move 1 more with my feet and not try to get it as far right. So I'm gonna try to keep it in front of me a little bit more. That was better. Oh, that ran out of energy. It was barely a 5-pin. So I don't know if we can replay this, but it got there. It started to hook, but then it kind of like unraveled a little bit and barely got the 5 out. And I was only a couple boards left of where I went through the face. I'll throw 1 more shot there. So that was 25 with my feet. I'm gonna kind of straighter trajectory. I'm actually, so this is a little tip. This is a surface video, but I'm lining up where I'm drawing a line actually from the 6-pin through the arrows to me. So that's kind of where I want my trajectory to go. If I wanted a more open trajectory, I would draw almost a line from like the 10-pin, or even if you really have to send it, like the gutter. And then if you really want to keep it in front of you, then you draw a line from like the pocket and you move your hips facing the pins. So I'm going to open my trajectory just a little bit. So I'm looking at like 17. Still kind of open. That's kind of what I was looking for with this video. Sometimes when you put too much surface on it, it pushes you further left, makes you open your angles, and then that happens. So Or if you're using a ball that is just too strong for the pattern, strong meaning like early or like high differential, it's making you open your angles, you're gonna be left with that. So that's kind of yucky. Well, why don't I bring it up then a little bit more? We'll do a 2000 because it's making the surface there's no oil on it yet, right? So it's gonna be pretty sticky. All right, let me go to, I don't know, why don't we actually just try that 25 again and I can move right if needed. So interesting. I didn't throw that much different than the previous shot that had that 1500, forced me further left, and it died, 2A10. Then I just put a fresh 2000 and it retained more energy, got to the pocket. So why don't I move let's move 2 right. So I'm gonna go back to 23. Same kind of trajectory. I'm looking at like 16. Let's see if that looks good. That was a good shot. It got there and it struck. So I'm gonna move a couple more left actually, because that was light. I'm sorry, I said left. I meant light. That was light. Let me move right to see if I can get the pocket a little bit better. So that was 23. So I'm gonna go to 21 again. So I'm actually really close to where I started with this and it looked pretty good then. So looking at 14. Not bad. Oh, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I don't actually know. I throw 14 pounds. I throw 14 pounds, but I don't know how fast it is. Maybe like 16 miles an hour, yeah. Okay, so that looked really good. And that was a nice 2000. And so then what happens if I hit it with 4000? I'm gonna smooth it out, meaning like, so when you have something abrasive, it's creating almost little divots, micro divots in the cover to allow it to create more traction on the lane, to grab the lane earlier. And then when you use something that's a higher grit, it's smoothing the surface out so it's not going to grip the lane as much. So let's see what this does. So I'm going to go to 21. So it's going to it's supposed to retain more energy in the oil. Oh, wow. Well, okay. I mentioned this before. You can't, the first shot's always, it's a new surface. We got the oil off of it. So we can't judge the first shot. That was a 4-pin. I saw it hook early. Like it definitely did grab the lane. So I'm gonna wipe this oil off. Let's do the second shot. Same spot. So I'm thinking on this pattern right now, 2000, 4000 looks pretty good. The higher grit made me get further left and then died. So the lower, higher grit. Oh my gosh, this is confusing. Because higher number is actually smoother grit. So anyway, let's do this. 21 again, same shot. Oh, that literally split the 8-9. So I'm thinking on this shot right here with the pure MB, the smoother grit, 2000, 4000, is the better option because otherwise it's just gonna read the lane too early, expend, bleed too much energy, and then die at the pocket. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and leave us a comment. Let us know if there's anything on the channel that you'd like to see or any bowling balls you'd like to see go down the lane, compared or reviewed or discussed, because we do this every week. So with that, I'll see you next week.